Hello, and it's back. That is, the price of BELA is back to previous resistance once or first hit in October at a level of 2789. Then again, in February, it came up to a high of 34 on this occasion. And we can see on each high, it had that big crash down, big crash down, big crash down. Well, maybe correctionary phase, because as I reported in my previous video, this is the area of the 18 average band level that I'm looking at the more longer term time frame. So is this the start of a big crash or a correctionary phase? And I'm going to be betting on the correctionary phase. And because I already got good profits on the way up, I'm set that if it is going to crash to nothing, my losses will be a lot smaller because of these gains. With that being stated, that's one of the two things that's going to keep going higher, and who knows how long it's going to take. It could take several weeks to get back to this point. And I'm saying that like it's a long time, but in relative to previous days, that is a long time. And so it's bullish to buy now if you think it's going to go higher, and I do. Also, if you think it's going to be a failed move, well, it's bullish and bearish to go long here, in the sense that if it's bearish, well, what's the chances that it at least tests like 33? And that's weak if that's all it can go to, is 33. You got to expect it's going to at least go to 3750. But I can bring some Fibonacci and take a look at this as far as the high in here, which was 6889, and the low so far today is in at 2600. So it's likely it's going to at least go to 3772 ballpark area if this is going to be the biggest failed move within it. And if it continues bottoming, say in the next few hours, it even goes to like 18 or something, well then whatever, just the Fibonacci low, and then whatever the 38.2% is, it's likely to go to. And that's of course on the bearish situation, which means on the way up, you liquidate it as it's going higher. At least that's what I'm doing, and put buy orders in lower, sometimes even significantly lower, and thus guarantee you're going to get some profit from the lower buys that you could be getting in at this price. And within this, when I started going in here, I was accumulating, and as it was going higher, I was doing just that. I would try to keep my position size the same, but just day trade basically. And then as it got high, distribute out of my positions. And now that it's going lower, accumulate them back again, and basically rinse and repeat. And I'd be very curious, just a test of this range area of even the 5,000 mark, how much higher would be compared to the first time it would be at 5,000. Of course, buying and selling along the way, as this is one of the favorite, I think it's going to be one of the favorite day trading charts, at least right now for today's subject. It is doing so. Because one strategy that I like doing, especially at this time frame now, and I'll show you right now because it's low enough where I can do it, is check to see if there's a good difference in the bid ask. Notice what the size is. And what I see right now is I could probably sell at 27.58, but I want to get a good profit, and 27 buy is about 2% on that. So I see in here, if I buy at 27.06, let's put in a larger number, say 100 units, and place the order in for 100. And what I could do instantly if I wanted to is I could put in, like, say, a sell order for, like, say, I look at the numbers, I see a bigger number at 27.65, so go 27.64, put in, say, 99, and then put the sell order in. And this is what's going to happen. Most of the time, they're both going to hit, which means you're looking at a difference of about 58 cents, and that's a little over 2%. And really not much happened, really, as far as your share size is just a small gain on what works out to be like a $2.70 bet. So that's going to be like 5 cents. But you do that like 20, 30 times during the day. Then you start to increase those to a share size to 200, 300, 400. Then that's where you can get a lot of really, really good profits in. And so that would be a lot of the strategy. Now, if this thing just tanks and I don't get my sell order in for 27.64, well, what that means is I'm obviously going to get the buy order and even other ones below it as well, which is fine because that's what I'm doing is accumulating. So that goes right within my strategy. And if I don't get my buy order because it goes up, that means I'm going to get my sell order and even some other ones that I have along the way. Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with a rally where I can exit out of some of the positions I recently just bought at 26 and 27, at 28 and 29 to sell, and then put the orders back in. Oh, I sold 60 more. Okay, well, then let's buy 70 more. That'll be a lot of how the strategy is going to work. So as far as this is the list of all bunch of different buys and sells in here. So I just put those two orders in. And I'm going to see what new transactions may have taken place, which would be, it's loading, none of them. So none of them has happened as of this point, but one of them will. And I'm not going to just drag this video on, but I'm going to go over some of these stats in here. The average buy that I put in is close to $33 or 33 units. I shouldn't say that word bucks because it's not that. Bits. Okay, that works. And 3,900 is the sell. So the difference of 33 to 39 is that of 6. That works out to about an average gain thus far of about 20%. I have bought in at about 82.50. I've sold about less than 7,000, which means I got about 1,300. And I had about 1,800 when I was at my peak. So I'm not at the large level I was before, which I'm fine with. But I was down to day trading with like 300 all the time. And now it's back over 1,000 because the price went lower. Also, my average buy price is just that, which meant if I got out of all of my buy orders and just did nothing and the thing went to nothing, I would basically end up losing on the whole deal what would be like pennies based on this number here, which is pretty cool because as I said on the first video, if I at least can get that first push to that 50-60 range, then at least I really can't lose on the trade, and I'm showing myself why that's the case now. Now the question is, if this thing can make that move back up to this key level, what would the portfolio have? I gained about 43 millibits, or the equivalency of $50 on the rise up. So when I'm back up there again, it should be much higher than that. Now I've seen this thing have a nice red push down. Did it execute my buy order? The answer to that would be it's loading. It's slow, but that's fine. It did so, and it executed even more. I executed even 90 more. So now I want to get rid of that 90. I've already put the 100 in that we just bought, and I just bought. So now I bought at an average price of about 26.80 something for 90. So we want to get out probably in the 28s, but let's look at my orders and see where my missing gaps are. And that's really what I want to look for. So we got that sell order we put in. So there's that missing gap at 28. So let's put in the order in for 28.55, and my short-term memory at times isn't the greatest, 90. So let's get rid of, say, 73 of them. And that will be the strategy. Now, interesting. Now, my key thing is, as far as the This is a silver chart, and I'll give you a quick update on it, really doing not much. And even the Bitcoin data that I get, it's hanging in there. I'll update this later on. But back to the strategy. So I bought this 100. Now once I sell that 100, I'm going to go back and do it again. I want to see how many times I could do this in an hour, because you get some decent gains within it, but as long as you don't like go overboard and buy like so much that's going to make your balance so high that if it does crash, you can have small risk, and you don't want to sell too much and then lose your portfolio balance because it goes way too high. But put one in at a time and then two in at a time, because normally what I've been doing is like 10 to 20 with 2 or 3 at a time. And now I'm doing 100 one at a time, which means once they're completed, I'll do another one. 2 at a time means I can have 2 active ones at each time. And then once one triggers, I can do another one again. So that is basically the key strategy, and I'll talk to you later on. Take care.